Now the river rose 11 feet while we were there because of heavy rains up north, so everything flooded. The entire race course ended up underwater. It's one of the more powerful classes, I think. Yeah, normally you would see a sandbar there. There'd be an island out there that we actually fly over. It's all gone, all hidden. We went out there with 5 crafts that we had built here that were to be raced, and a 6th one that we built years ago that had been purchased, sold, purchased, resold, and we ended up bringing it out there for a friend of mine because he just couldn't afford to drive out to Maine to go get it. This was the magic moment. This was when we first started this engine up. Almost started. At this point, we figured we're going to get it to fly. Now, these are parents that went out with us, and these guys just took it personally. They were like a NASCAR pit crew. They said, "We will make this craft fly." And they all went home happy. You guys probably recognize, no, you wouldn't recognize the craft in the background. This red and black one back there belongs to a friend of mine. He has raced internationally for years. And he just wanted to pit with us. This is the first instant it hit the water. We didn't quite know what it was going to do, but we had a pretty good idea. But again, you never know until you actually do it.
Do you have to be trained to drive it?
I just teach my students the basics, and then I get them out there to practice. And every craft flies a little bit differently, so you kind of have to get a feel for it.
You need a boating safety license, right?
Right. To legally fly on water, on public waterways. If you know somebody owns their own big pond or a big lake, you don't need a license, but it's a good idea to have for safety reasons. This is entry level. This is what we fly the green craft in.
And they can go straight from land to water, and it doesn't...
Part of the beauty of the racing is the transitions between land to water, because they react a little bit differently on land than they do on water. And the crowd loves it. Here's where we get bumped. Right there.
It's like bumper bump.
Now, the girl flying that one, she says, hey, you know, it was completely unintentional, but kind of looks like we were where she wanted to be and she wasn't happy about it. That's all right. Just, these things happen in racing. You get a little damage now. I'm just going to scoot forward a little bit. We got the Yellow Jacket up and flying about an hour before we had to take it out and race it. So here's a guy who got about 10 minutes time to take it out and fly it. And he just took it right out there. I said, make sure you're the last one off the line. Follow everybody. Get a feel for what you're doing. Be comfortable with the craft. Don't go out there and try to be a hot dog. So he said, that's the plan. And he got all the way to the first turn and decided to see what it would do. It started to move out, much to our surprise. We didn't think it would do this. And he was making really good time catching up to everybody else. Now you have to remember, there are people racing here. This is the F-25 class. There are a lot of seasoned professionals out there flying who've been doing this for quite some time. So our goal was, don't think about coming in first, but let's try to avoid being last. And we did okay. In spite of the breakdown. We lost points because of the breakdown, but we still finished okay. Now you can see when you take a turn, you do a lot of sliding. Our craft takes it very, very tight. These other guys, they're all over the place. But it's those extra outboard rudders that make the difference. Now these guys catch up with us on the straightaways because they've got more thrust than we do. We're limited to 25 horsepower. But they've got lightweight two-stroke engines which accelerate much faster than the four-stroke engines that we do. But again, races are won or lost on the turns. So let me... Well, that was the end of that race. That was our first fix. This thing buckled right here, so we bolted on a piece of aluminum, which helped quite a bit. And what I'm going to do is try to fast forward everybody else to race. That's the start right there. Now for the guys who just have one engine to start up, they're at a little bit of an advantage. Now what happened here is he forgot to put on his kill switch clip. So if he gets tossed out, that tether pulls two switches and kills both engines, so the craft doesn't keep off and then go flying off by itself. It just stops right there in the water. We have rehearsed it with him, so jump in, clip on, switches on, start the lift engine, start the thrust engine, and go. We kind of mixed it up a little bit. Didn't matter. He still got off. He was the last one out there, but it didn't matter. He still was putting on a good show.
Somebody's gonna laugh.
I'm sorry?
Oh, no, I was talking to this.
That's my friend Raul. Now in endurance race, it's 40 laps, any amount of horsepower. So some of these crafts have over 100 horsepower in them. Whereas we're just cruising along with 25, and I said, guys, don't even think we're going to win this. Just finish it. The first year they did it, we had a craft with an experimental engine on it, and we finished all 40 laps. Took an hour and 15 minutes. The pilot was totally exhausted, but he was just so thrilled. And we didn't finish last either. It was awesome. And the student who flew that race now owns that particular craft. He's got it at home. This is where our steering broke. I looked at the rudders. I looked at where he was going. I said, something's wrong. So he's headed for the shoreline, unfortunately. But that's racing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you break down.
Thank you very, very much for showing us that footage.
Oh, you're welcome.